Hey everybody, today's video is called How Does the Holy Spirit Testify with Our Spirit? And today we step out of our 2-week study in the book of Micah, as we're in the middle point of that study. And we're going to look at a single verse tonight in the book of Romans. And this is actually going to be our 18th Topical Saturday for this year. So we're well past the amount that we did last year. And we're looking at a pace of half of the year with Topical Saturdays at this point. But we're going to be in one chapter as a primary focus, and we'll read a couple of the verses, but we're going to be focusing on Romans chapter 8, verse 16 and 17 today. So it says here, Romans 8:16, the Spirit himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God, and if children, then heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ. If indeed we suffer with him, that we may also be glorified together. So believers, we see that we are called the children of God. And not just children of God, but we are the heirs of God. We receive the inheritance of God with Christ. And we see that the Holy Spirit gives us great assurance of our position in God's family. And the Apostle Paul here, he's pointing here to an intimate interaction between the Holy Spirit and our inner being. And the Greek word for testifies here means to bear witness, to confirm or affirm truth. And the truth that's being confirmed is that we are God's children, that we are adopted by God into his family. And let's go into verse 15 right above verse 16, so Romans 8:15 says, for you did not receive the spirit of bondage again to fear, but you received the spirit of adoption, by whom we cry out, Abba, Father. So the Holy Spirit assures believers of our salvation. The Holy Spirit assures believers of our salvation and also the adoption into the family of God. And we can call God Father as we are his beloved children. We have a relationship with him. Let's go over to Galatians chapter 4, verse 16. And don't lose your spot in Romans 8 because we're coming right back. But first, let's go to Galatians. Galatians chapter 4, verse 6 says, and because you are sons, God has sent forth the Son, and because you are sons, God has sent forth the Spirit of his Son into your hearts, crying out, Abba, Father. So the Holy Spirit testifies with our spirit that we are God's children and that he is the sign and he is the seal of our adoption. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 1. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 13-14 says, in him you also trusted after you heard the word of truth, the gospel of your salvation, in whom also having believed you were sealed with the Holy Spirit of promise, who is the guarantee of our inheritance until the redemption of the purchased possession, to the praise of his glory. And let's go back into Romans chapter 8. And we're going to look at verse 14. It says, for as many as are led by the Spirit of God, these are sons of God. So the Holy Spirit's testimony with our spirit also involves the transformation of our lives. And in Romans chapter 8, a little bit before that, let's go to Romans 8, verse 5-11. It says, for those who live according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh, but those who live according to the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is an enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, nor indeed can be. So then, those who are in the flesh cannot please God. But you are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit, if indeed the Spirit of God dwells in you. Now, if anyone does not have the Spirit of Christ, he is not his. And if Christ is in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Spirit of life because of righteousness. But if the Spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead dwells in you, he who raised Christ from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies through his Spirit who dwells in you. So the indwelling presence of the Holy Spirit marks believers as such as us as children of God. And that's going to wrap up our study for today. So how does the Holy Spirit testify with our spirit? We've been adopted into the family of God. We have intimate relationship with the Father. And so we'll see in next is we're going to be completing our 2-week study this upcoming week. We're going to be doing 4 chapters of the rest of the book of Malachi. So Micah chapters 4 through 7. And then, we'll be continuing on in our adult VBS theme as summer is coming to an end. So I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. God bless, and we'll see you again this upcoming week.